By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to stop being codependent so you can step into your full feminine power. Because if you are operating as a codependent woman, you're definitely not in your feminine energy. You're definitely not with a strong relationship with God. You're definitely not serving your community, and you're definitely not in a strong self-confidence and self-love every day and having an amazing day every day of your life. You're not in your purpose, and your relationships are all terrible because you're coming at them in a codependent way, not a confident way with strong, good mental health. And your mental health is also going to be a mess because good mental health is when we are confident, and bad mental health is when we are codependent. It makes us sick. It is a sickness. And your health will be suffering because you'll have excess cortisol, stress hormone, which is the cause of cancer and so many serious diseases. I'm not a therapist, but I know this because I've lived it. I've been that woman, overgiving, self-abandoning, chasing validation, not really knowing God, thinking I was helping but really being needy, not having enough energy just for myself to get through the day, much less have an abundance of energy to help and support others in my community. And I can tell you with certainty, if you don't break this pattern, you'll be at a massive disadvantage in every area of your life. But the good news is healing is possible from all parts of codependency. So let's dive in to the exact steps to finally become the confident, feminine, happy, clear-headed, and powerful woman that you were always meant to be. Codependency isn't about being too nice or too caring. It's about self-abandonment. And if we look at the science of the brain and the body and the whole system and life, we see that when we are in a state of self-abandonment, our whole health goes wrong and life goes wrong. But when we're in a state of putting ourselves first, not being selfish, but being confident in ourselves and taking care of ourselves, that is when we are in alignment and we are healthy. We are in a state of good mental health when we don't have unconscious things blocking us from taking care of ourselves first in a healthy way that helps life go well for everyone in the world. Codependency is a survival mechanism that forms when you believe that your worth comes from what you do for others. And when we're not living from who we are, we start to make decisions wrong, we navigate relationships wrong, our health goes awry because we're stressed about the wrong things and it's not all working correctly in a healthy way. Whether you are into psychology and you want to look at all the best psychologists in history, or you're Christian and want to look at the Bible, all of these texts say clearly that there are so many issues that come when a person does not know that their worth comes from just being who they are. Codependents feel like they're just being loving. They're being a good daughter, a good friend, a good wife, a good girlfriend, a good community member, when really they're giving more than they have and going into burnout, exhausting themselves, and actually it's a horrible way to treat oneself. Moments of self-love, confidence, and acceptance of who they are and not taking their mistakes so seriously are few and far between, or maybe even non-existent in the life of the codependent. And these are the moments that are the best of what life has to offer. And so it's a horrible thing for someone to go through an entire life never experiencing those moments of just appreciation of who they are, who we are, who I am as just a person. One in what is it, 10 billion? The codependent is trapped in the cycle of overgiving and constantly seeking external validation. They end up tolerating mistreatment and not being able to find a way out. It's not your fault this happened to you. It happened before you had a choice when you were young, and society formed you in this way to become codependent for whatever reasons. And you can go to therapy to discover that more. But what's important now is that as an adult, you take responsibility for healing this so that you can start living the best of your life, the confident future of your life, be the confident self for the rest of your future. And yes, it's going to be a really difficult path, but what's the alternative, right? It's just to be codependent for the rest of your life. These are the moments we have to realize that life isn't fair, but gratitude for the things that we were given, the incredible privilege we do have if you're watching this from an iPhone living in a safe city in a safe country that's at least moderately safe, and you have food and water, all these things we can be grateful for. But codependency wasn't something you chose, it was something that you were trained into. Most women who struggle with codependency grew up in environments where their needs weren't fully met. Whether that was emotionally unavailable parents, chaotic households, or relationships where love felt conditional. They weren't taught that they have value in just who they are and being who they are. They taught that they have to gain it through validation, through the things that they do. Maybe you were praised for being so mature or so helpful, but never just being you. And whenever you were just you and maybe sang a silly song or whatnot, it was laughed at or put down. Maybe your parents thought that if they loved you when you got good grades, that it would create a wonderful future for you. And they thought that was how to be a good parent, to set you up for a future of success in your job. So they praised you for being smart and fixing problems. This sets you up for a lifetime of people pleasing, over-functioning, having a fear of being confident and being your true self, and suppressing your own desires until they're so far out of touch that you don't know what you want anymore. And maybe you get through parts of life like this and then burn out. Maybe you get through more of your life and then burn out. It's different for everyone, but it's a dangerous way to live because it's not sustainable. But here's the thing, codependency is a set of many habits put together. And if it's a stack of habits can be broken. So we can break codependency this way. So how do we shift out of this codependent state of feeling like we need to give in order to get love, even if we're giving more than we have, and shift into a feminine state, which is the exact opposite. A feminine state is one where we feel confident and we feel valuable just by existing in who we are, and we're pouring our energy into just our state of being, knowing that that is so valuable and such a way to serve ourselves, have an amazing day ourselves, as well as serve all the other people around us, live in our purpose, and be healthy and live a great life. Step number 1 is to shift your identity, to decide I'm no longer open to relationships that don't fulfill me, that don't give back to me. And you can't change that right now, but shifting into the identity is going to hold you through the process. You begin to rewire your self-worth and to realize your own natural needs that just are the way they are because you are the way they are and the way that you are. You begin to rewire your self-worth when you see that choosing your identity is this whole wonderful creative space for you to be in your femininity and choose exactly what you want your identity to be for today, for the week, for the month, for the year. And you can change it at any point, and you really can practice having things come from who you really are by trying different identities. Step number 2 is to heal your nervous system. It's to set a new standard where you're no longer going to operate with a over-processing nervous system. You're going to only live in a calm state, and you're going to not tolerate living in a state where you have so much cortisol, where your health is getting damaged every day, and it might take time to get there to really reach a place where you have a calm nervous system, but it's just about being determined and then staying open to making all of the choices you can to get there. Step number 3 is to practice radical receiving. Whenever someone offers something to you, try to accept the offer from a place of your feminine state. You're going back to who you really are. When we appreciate from who we really are, it is a very confident and healthy state to be in, and very healing for codependency. Start to give genuine appreciation back to the people who are giving to you also. How did it help your day? Did that, gave you a cup of coffee, help you get to work when you were late to work that morning? What was it that really affected your day? You're starting to see yourself for the individual that you are, 1 in 10 billion people, and build that confidence and individuality. And from there, a path will grow for how you get out of this codependence and into a healthy state of being, a feminine state of being, because you'll be motivated to get into this place again of receiving, of being yourself, of knowing your worth, of knowing that you are worth that coffee, you are worth that person opening the door for you. Not because you earned it, but because you exist, because you are such a interesting, awesome, and it might be really hard at first to trust that you can go into this feminine state that does not feel really safe yet. But as you practice over and over, it'll get easier and easier as you get more positive experiences with it. Step number 4 is to set standards, not just boundaries. So many people, including myself, when I was super codependent, I was all about setting boundaries, set so many boundaries, thought I was so confident, but I didn't know how to hold myself and my life in a standard of how I'm going to be treated, and not willing to let that budge. And that's what I've learned in this healing process to do. And it is a combination of setting boundaries as well as just living in your femininity and being a bit crafty and just being not willing to budge, not willing to be rude either. You treat people poorly, you're not willing to have a bad attitude, and you're not willing to be treated poorly. This is learning to live as who you really are. A high-value feminine woman isn't bothered by toxic people because she's living in a high state of confidence and happiness. The toxic people more just pass by her, and she attracts healthy, supportive people in her life because she knows her worth and she knows that she deserves them because of her worth for existing. She's not expecting anything lavish from anyone. She's just expecting human decency. Doing the identity work is really going to help with this, as well as just being motivated in any books or content, because you're really pushing to the next level with this, which is a little bit different than you would think with femininity, but I think it is a required part of it, and it is a required part of being a feminine woman, is being able to push to the next level in a feminine way. Remember, don't settle for an unhealthy, codependent, dysfunctional life when you can live a confident, healthy, functional, happy, amazing life. Let me know in the comments what has helped you heal your codependency, and please like if you like this, and please subscribe if you want to see more similar videos.